I'm Leonard Scott Collins, and I've taken a lot of cold medicine, but I'm still going to try to make money doing yoga on the internet with Leonard Scott Collins. Thank you for sticking with us. We've been at this for 10 days now, every day trying to continue to develop our upper body strength, focusing on keeping our legs straight, our hips long, our abdominals tight, so that we can really press through the hands and develop the muscle structure in this whole area. Today, we're going to do one last quick workout and then check to see if we're any better in our handstand than we were 2 weeks ago. Last week when we looked at it, we hadn't improved that much, but I have some thoughts on that. First, sun salutations. Because we're back in a wide angle today, we can do some things that we haven't been able to do in those tire shots. Let's try to do 6 sun salutations without taking a break. Go slow, focus on your form, focus on your breath through the posture. I'll talk you through the first 2, and then we'll do 4 more on our own, and we'll try not to collapse, because we've been collapsing after only 5 the last 10 days almost. So we're just going to add 1 and push through. Inhale the arms up and relax your hips forward into a nice back bend. Exhale down with straight legs into your forward fold. Now come up to flat back on the inhale and really work. Press down through the hips just like you're doing a cat-cow. Look at a spot on the ground right in front of you. Try to see if your flat back can actually get flat. Now exhale down into a nice plank pose. And exhale the rest of the way slowly down to the ground. Get your feet about hip distance apart. My feet have been all over the place this week. Let's try to put your feet about hip distance apart and press up into our down dog. Now let's inhale. Chaturanga to our cobra pose. Linger here for a minute. Feel the relaxation through the lower back and adjust the shoulders. We added some depth to the stretch yesterday by doing some shoulder adjustments. And I think we're really feeling the new shape this afternoon. Curl the toes under, press through the hands to come back into your downward dog. Bend the knees, jump the hands forward. Relax over the feet. Straighten the legs, flatten the back. Turn the hips up. Eyes gaze straight down. Relax again. Inhale up to your back bend. If you're wearing a new pair of pants, you might have to pause here briefly to make some small adjustments. Just make sure you're comfortable in your workout. But that should be it, okay? We're going to do 5 more without a break. So inhale, up to back bend, exhale. Down to forward fold. Inhale, flat back, exhale, step back into your plank. Inhale, down dog, exhale, cobra. Inhale, down dog, exhale to come forward and relax over the feet. Inhale up to flat back. Exhale down. Inhale up to your back bend and then return to standing mountain. So we're going to do 4 more of these on our own time. Four. 3. 2. 1. Great. So let's pull the muscles of the buttocks apart. Come to sitting. Curl the toes up into Dandasana. And stretch forward over the legs. If you can grab your toes, that's fine. Keep working. Straighten the knees. Now come straight up out of those hips. Oh. Let's check our posture in the mirror. You know what? We're doing better, but we're still arcing backwards just up to the top of the hip bones. Let's go wide angle. Grab the toes or the ankles or whatever you need to do to pull yourself forward. See about getting the spine coming straight up out of those hips. If your knees are back, lean them forward a little bit so they point straight up to the sky. That should help center your hips. If they're rolling in, then roll them back. Again, you want them straight up to the sky. All right, we got a little opening in our hips. Now stretch the arms long to the left and right. Stretch the arms way up overhead and pull them back slightly behind the head, similar to the back bend we were just doing in our sun salutation. Lift the right arm up, 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 up. Bend at the elbow, press the hand between the shoulder blades, and encourage that hand to come around, come down by guiding from the back of the right shoulder with the left hand. Reach around. If you can clasp the fingertips, do that. And as you clasp the fingertips, also bring some awareness to the top of the left shoulder and the back and side of the neck through here. Work on pulling that out too. That language is bad. I shouldn't really say pulling it out because you want to think about it very gently. So we're more allowing a release than we are pulling. Although a little bit of pressure to help us hold these poses is healthy. Because when the structure is correct, the muscles take their time to get comfortable and will sort of release on their own. Raise the right arm right up, the left arm now right up, and straight back. Now see, my instinct there was to do a bit of a spinal twist to come back. I really don't want to do that. I really want to think about keeping the spine straight, the chest up and forward, the sternum up and forward, and letting that arm come straight back so that it's behind the head when it comes down between the shoulder blades. And guide it with the right arm down towards a little bit deeper into the stretch. If you can reach around and clasp the fingertips, that's great. If not, you can try to use your belt. Look, see how much I've improved there, how much more space is in my neck now? By just trying to work to get that shoulder back. Across the body, gentle, straight across the body with shoulder back, straight across the body with shoulder forward, angled across the body, across the sternum, straight across the body with shoulder back, straight across the body with shoulder forward, angled down across the sternum. Broad circles with the shoulders. Let's roll the neck out a little bit. Down to the chest, up to the sky, down to the chest, up to the sky. So, one of the things I noticed reviewing the tapes of our handstand the last 2 weeks is that we never really got up to vertical. Our shoulders were never over our hands. We were always leaning forward a little bit, which meant that in order to balance our weight, we need to bend our hips so that our butt was behind us. It's just not a very stable posture. I mean, you can find stability, but there isn't structure, and you're relying too much on a back bend, not on abdominal strength. You know, your skeleton's working too hard, your muscle structure is slipping. And so there are two reasons for this. First of all, we were measuring our distance with our legs, which meant our legs needed to be able to get to 90 degrees in order to put our hips out from the wall. Our feet ended up all the way back here. We adjusted our hands back slightly which meant our feet went up, and we still weren't over the hands. So I think the second issue is fear. I think I was afraid to fail out of the posture, and that meant I was always leaning into my support rather than trusting my hands. So 3 issues: flexibility issue, strength issue, mental strength issue. So the first thing I want to practice is a roll out of the pose. So when I come up to straight, what I want to do is tuck my head into my chest and bend the elbows slightly so that I start to fall forward and press through the hands so that I do land on my back, not on my head. And that'll give us a neat forward roll out of the pose. We want to tuck our knees in at the same time to shorten our landing distance so that our spine is curved so that we can roll neatly out of the pose, and that we have the space to roll neatly out of the pose, especially with the wall here. So let's check that. Let's check that if I put my hands here, I can actually do a roll out of the pose. That is a little scary. What if I just roll onto my back? With the momentum, I don't know if I'm going to be able to just roll onto my back. Okay. So for safety, I'm going to want to come in an extra 4 to 6 inches, which is going to make the climb up the wall a little harder. Also, this front roll is a great argument. The other day we were talking about maybe our handstand would be easier if we had our hands out like this, because we wouldn't be putting this kind of pressure on our wrists. But whenever I see someone doing a front roll, their hands are always straight, right? So if you want to front roll out of the pose, then it's a good idea to, then maybe it is a good idea to plant your hands with your fingertips facing forward. So I'm going to remind you guys that my motto for yoga on the internet is never do anything you don't already know how to do. If this is your first time rolling out of a handstand, you're going to want a spotter, and you're going to want a spotter who knows how to spot. The best place to find someone like that might be in an intermediate yoga class. Just saying. So, let me put my hands down. Begin to feel the weight of my body pressing into the hand. Spread the fingertips wide, and maybe have a nice wide footprint. Hands out a little bit wider than the shoulders. And as you come up to your supported handstand, tuck your chest, chin into your chest, and roll. There. That wasn't so bad. But it does mean I'm going to need to be much closer. You know what? You got to make sure you're breathing when you roll. I think I hit the ground a little dry. So I'm going to try it again. Again, make sure you have a spotter whenever you're doing gymnastics like this, especially if it's your first couple of times. Be with someone who knows what they're doing. Anyway, come up, press the weight into the hands. And tuck the chin in. There we go. If you think about making a noise, that'll help you concentrate on your breath. So, now that we know what to do in case of emergency, maybe we'll be a little bit more courageous. Up in the posture. So, here we are, gauging our distance. And you want to have at least a body length between your ankles and the opposite wall, so that you have lots of space to do that rollout if you have to. Now, let's place our hands where our hands should go. I'm going to come back a little bit again, just so I have space to do that rollout. Now, slowly, 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 allow the weight of the body to transfer into the hands as you come up. Oh, man. Okay, I think that's all I have for today, actually. It's not a great progress report, but I'm starting to feel that twinge in the right wrist again. So you know, we can't go there. We can't go there if we're not ready to go there. Let's just try the experiment we tried yesterday. Press our hands wide. Turn the feet up, straight legs, into downward dog. Press through the hands, come back. Now, come up, come up, come up. And gently feel some of the weight start to transfer into the hands. If you want to lift the leg, 1, 2, 3. If you want to lift the other leg, 1, 2, 3. See what it's like to have the whole weight of the body pressing up into the hands. Oh. Now, let's come up to standing. Do that back bend again. Come down into your forward fold with straight legs. See if you can touch the floor, see if you can touch your toes. See if you can get your knuckles down. Now bend the legs until the palms can come to the floor. Then, transferring the weight in the hands, start to straighten the legs again. Lift 1. Lift the other. Bend the legs. Press into the hands. Press into the hands. Good. Good. Gentle on your wrists if you have an injury. Only press until you feel the joints start to press back, yeah? Don't allow any kind of this twingy, kind of cold or sharp or tingling discomfort. It should be very clear the difference between muscle fatigue or muscle strain or pushing really hard and the difference between joints or tendons feeling feeling like they're in danger. Pain is very, the difference in the pain is very, very clearly recognizable. What else can we do? All right, I'm going to bring you down close to me. let's look at our 3 chaturanga variations before we finish off the day. Now the first thing is people say go to All right, let's look at our 3 chaturanga variations before we finish out the day. So the first one is when people are teaching the sun salutation, they often say chaturanga in to downward dog. Or sorry, chaturanga from downward dog in to cobra. And now this is a little bit strange because for chaturangas, both of the variations, we know when it's a static pose, our hands are in a very different place than if it's a down dog, right? You can't really come forward and press those elbows straight into the rib cage, going from that broad plank to down dog to cobra. The second problem is that we're going from one kind of deep back bend to another deep, one kind of deep hip bend with a straight back to a deep back bend in the opposite direction. We don't want to just go straight down into a plank pose and then collapse our structure. So what I've always done is this kind of judo push-up thing that I've shown you. And so what you do, let's see if I can talk through it myself, is let's get our wide down dog. See, there's short down dog and wide down dog. Let's get our one down dog from plank position, which is what we're usually using for sun salutation. And see, this is why you can't really go into this pose, because the hands are in the wrong place. So, in order to get up to cobra from here, what I do is I bend the elbows until the head starts to come close, graze my nose on the floor, graze my chest on the floor, graze my navel on the floor. I say graze, but usually I leave about 1.5 inches so that I make sure I'm not resting, and then come up into cobra pose. Then I can lower down into cobra pose and push back and do a version of the same thing up into down dog if I'm feeling strong. And now what you're thinking of is as you're pressing through the shoulders to get that back bend in the down dog, you don't lose that back bend when you're doing your chaturanga into your cobra. And that's nice. I also like it to come back because with the extreme bend in across the spine, unless you really concentrate on focusing your abs and popping back, some of these small muscles across the lower back that are in such a deep stretch, I feel like end up aging prematurely to pop you back up into your down dog. And I know it's what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks, because in terms of a physical demand, the reverse judo push-up, the chaturanga, is harder. And I've just been too fatigued doing these long 25, 35-minute workouts. But what I'd really prefer to do to protect my lower back is tuck the toes under, pop the hips maybe a little bit, but then lower down and push backwards straight down the spine rather than using the muscles of the back to pop it up. So that's our first chaturanga variation. And when we haven't gone over in detail, I'm going to show it one more time just so we feel good about it. So from that wide down dog, dip slowly down, navel, chest, or nose, chest, navel. And from cobra, dip slowly down, navel, chest, nose. And you see I'm getting tired, so I couldn't complete that. Let's do our wrist protections before we, just to center ourselves before we do the last two chaturanga variations. So, back of the hand forward, fingertips around the fat of the thumb, come in and just try to relax the wrist. Come up on your sit bones. Straight back, breathe here for 1, 2, 3. Fingertips down, tuck in, really relax the wrist. No pressure, no pressure. Other hand. We've taught this a lot this week, so if you haven't looked at the earlier videos, go back and watch this whole series. You'll see this movement. So now, we've only shown this once before, so I'll show it again today. Rest your arms long down by your sides. Bend the elbows so the fingertips come straight up. And then try to press the elbows in towards the rib cage. Keep the shoulders in a neutral position and press the elbows in towards the rib cage. Where do they pinch, huh? That's where your hand should be. Right there. That's where your wrists should end up. So, roll onto your belly. Put your wrists in that place. And so that when you press up, your elbows will be at a 45-degree angle, and you can squeeze them together. Hold your rib cage, squeeze between your elbows, and that will show you the height of your pose. So straighten the legs, straighten the butt, relax the shoulders, press up into a high plank, and then rest down and press those elbows into the rib cage for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. Stretch the arms long. Okay. That's the chaturanga from a plank pose. Now, what I want to do is tilt the hips up, bend the knees very slightly, and then tip the shoulders up as well. So that I'm dealing with a very slight back bend. And then don't relax the abs. When you're in a back bend, the inclination is to relax the abs so you can breathe deep down into them. But here, keep the structure and breathe straight down the sides of the hips. So, put those hands in the same place, press up into plank, lower down again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Okay. Oh, So thank you for sticking with me through the really intense 2 weeks of upper body strength training. I'm gonna come back on Monday with a bonus video once my wrist feels better. We'll just do 10 more minutes and try to see what that handstand looks like. Just do a 10-minute progress report video or something. Man, it's been so great training hard with you. I just want to say a little bit about where your money goes when you support Make Money Doing Yoga and the internet. I keep it. I reinvest some in the channel. I buy cute outfits for you to wear, like these pants I've been wearing today. I might get a screen or a couple of lights so that you're not always getting the glare off the mirror. I want the videos to look nice for you, but I also would enjoy having just some more pocket money, some walking around money, you know, buy books on Thelema and magic and yoga, or even just like, I don't know if they're still making Eye of the World books, or Wheel of Time books rather, but like I might buy some of those. You know, spend a lot of money on like coffee and takeout and stuff. So it's benevolent, right? Like it's all good stuff. You know, you're giving your money, and it's working hard for me to make my life better, or even just like a little bit more fun. So now that I've been clear about that, maybe you'll be excited to donate to the video channel. And one more time this week, I just want to say like the videos, subscribe to the videos. I'm going to take another week off because I got some paperwork to do, but we'll be back not Monday, but next Monday with a 2-week series on hip opening and lengthening through those hamstrings. It's been great to talk to you. I'll see you soon.